In the far corner of the room sat a shy little child with a half-eaten pencil in his mouth and a blank page open in front of him. Math brought the worst out of this usually smart kid. But this boy today was too shy, too confused, and even too embarrassed to ask a simple question in front of the entire class to his miss. That evening, when returning home, he sorely missed his ex-next-door neighbor Daisy, who often helped him with his silliest questions in this grave subject. But now she was gone, and all the boy could do was wonder how to pass this numerical disaster. Is this an inspiring story of a Nobel laureate to be, or a mathematical wizard to be? Who is this boy? Respected Congress Chair, judges, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests, this boy stands for you. This boy stands for you, and you, and you. Give and take, the boy represents each and every one of us here. But do not think of this in a literal sense. The boy does not stand for us literally in a classroom setting. The boy represents our inabilities, our insecurities, and our directionlessness. Now that we know a little about the boy, let us turn our attention to Daisy. Who is Daisy? Daisy stands for someone like Alok, who very recently helped fellow Toastmasters understand the basics of blogging. Or even more so, someone like my mother, who despite limited professional qualification has taught many ladies and even men the simple art of tailoring. Ladies and gentlemen, Daisy does not represent the expert or the professional teacher. Daisy stands for each and every one of us, as all of us have the ability to help someone out, to help someone who needs to know something about which we have better clarity. If you add 2 and 2 together, you'll understand that the problem lies within us, but so does the solution. But you'll find it interesting to know that while the solution to our problems lies with someone else, we hold the solution to someone else's problem. So it is implied that while we spend time seeking help from others in understanding things we don't know, all of us have the ability to help someone out. All of us have the ability to teach. Robert Kiyosaki, in his famed book Rich Dad Poor Dad, explains in an economic context that if you wish to receive something, you must first know how to give. Extend this to the context of knowledge, and we can say that teach and you will learn handsomely. After all, teaching and learning are two sides of the same coin. But we often find that people learn voluntarily or involuntarily, but very few consider teaching as an option of learning. Now I ask you, do you agree to this? Or let me rephrase it. Is there anyone here who believes that teaching is a very effective tool of learning than learning itself? Anyone? Thank you. I do agree, and let me give a few examples, or let me elaborate how this could be so. Firstly, teaching requires one to plan. It requires one to not only explore the subject, but also understand what and why the other person does not understand about the subject. It involves questioning and counter-questioning, which are very effective tools of dispelling the doubts you yourself have about the subject. What are the benefits? There are many. First, you will have someone satisfied of having learned something new. Second, you as a teacher have explored a lot about the subject and now know a lot about it as well. But what is the ultimate benefit? I ask you. The ultimate benefit is that the wheel is not reinvented. The wheel is not reinvented. Students are saved the effort of starting from scratch. They are saved the effort of committing the same mistake over and over again, which make learning such a tedious and often a boring process. Does this all sound very difficult to you? Well, it does to a certain extent, but only if you believe it to be. All you need to accept is that you have the ability to teach and that there is someone out there who wants to learn. Is success guaranteed? Definitely not. As Trishma pointed out, failure is essential to ensure the sweetness of success. You may probably not get the message across to the person, or you may even give the wrong message sometimes. Because teaching is not everyone's good area. However, it is not without reason and experience that many have said, try and try until you succeed. In my first class as a math tutor, I did not learn how to teach, I learned how not to teach. And by the 5th class, while the class knew something about mathematics, or geometry to be precise, I had virtually mastered it. The Declaration of American Independence claims, and I quote from the movie National Treasure 1, that if you have the ability to do something, if you have the ability to bring about change, you have the responsibility to do so. In this context, it means if you have learned something through your experience or through research, and if there is somebody out there who wants to learn, then you have the responsibility to help this person out. Do not be concerned if you are not an expert. Admit or believe that at any point of time, 90% of the world, 75% of your society and more than 50% of your friends and colleagues do not know as much as you do about many matters. So, the next time you wish to learn a little more about the stock markets, do not stop at researching and learning. Instead, go out, teach someone who does not even know the basics. I can assure you, you will emerge better learned and definitely even richer. So the moral of the story is very simple. Teach to learn and learn to teach.